Hi, I'm Colleen Hall, and this is Delaney, and we are going to do our shared reading lesson. So with this lesson, I wasn't able to enlarge the text, but I did find in the reading from Fountas and Pinnell that if we each had our own copy for an older student such as Delaney, that would be okay. So we do have our own copy. And then Delaney, can you hand me that glossary page? And I was able to enlarge the print in the vocabulary pages the vocabulary that Delaney needed to learn for the story. So the story is called The Gossip Monster. It's a level V reader. And we started reading this earlier throughout the week, and Delaney and I also have gone over some of the vocabulary with it. So as we've gone through, the vocabulary is bolded, and we've been discussing that as well. So we left off on page 21, Delaney. So we're going to do something called echo read. We're going to continue doing that. So echo read is when I read and then you read what I just read. So you flip to page 21, and then after we're done reading, we're going to have a little discussion, and we're going to do something called a Kahoot. So she'll take a comprehension quiz, kind of like a game quiz after I have loaded on our computers. So this portion of the story is called Telling the Truth. So right now, this story is about a girl named Jamie and a boy named Dell, and some gossips kind of going around in the class about Dell, and Jamie, the little girl, was the one that kind of spread those rumors. So we're at the end of the story. Let's see, Telling the Truth. So I will read and then you will read.
Okay.
So outside, Dell sat alone and watched the kickball game. I was so nervous that I could hardly talk.
Outside, Dell sat alone and watched the kickball game. I was so nervous that I could hardly talk.
Hey, I said as I walked up to him. What do you want, Jeremy? Dell snapped without taking his eyes off the game. I almost retreated, but something in his voice sounded more hurt than angry.
Hey, I said as I walked up to him. What do you want, Jeremy? Dell snapped without taking his eyes off the game. I almost retreated, but something in his voice sounded more hurt than angry.
I want to apologize, I said simply. Dell refused to look at me, but he was paying attention. When I saw you in Principal Cosgrove's office yesterday, I told people that she sent you home for beating that kindergartner up.
I want to apologize, I said simply. Dell refused to look at me, but he was paying attention. When I saw you in Principal Cosgrove's office yesterday, I told people that she sent you home for beating up that kindergartner.
That kindergartner up. Okay. Beating up a little kid? Dell said, disgusted. That was my mom and my little brother. I didn't even know Dell had a little brother, and now I felt even worse.
Beating up a little kid, Dell said, disgusted. That was my mom and my little brother. I didn't even know Dell had a little brother, and now I felt even worse.
So with this sentence, it's more like a question. Beating up a little kid? And then he kind of pauses with that question mark. Okay? Oh, I said, I just want to apologize for saying something so mean.
Oh, I said, I just want to apologize for saying something so mean.
My dad got hurt, Dell said, finally looking at me as if he was challenging me. He was deployed overseas in the army. Mom was telling us that they're going to send him home.
My dad got hurt, Dell said, finally looking at me as if he was challenging me. He was deployed overseas in the army. Mom was telling us that they're going to send him home.
Make sure when you're reading that when there's a period, you make that pause.
Okay.
So instead of army mom, it's army mom. Okay? Will he be okay? I asked quietly. Dell's angry face softened a bit. Yeah, my brother was just scared, he shrugged. Not that anyone will believe the truth now that they think I beat him up. Anger crept back in his face.
Will you be okay? I asked quietly. Dell's angry face softened a bit. Yeah, my brother was just scared. He shrugged. Not that anyone would believe the truth now that think I'm beating him up. Anger crept back into his face.
I'm really sorry to hear about your dad, and I'm glad he'll be okay. Okay, Jamie, he said with a shrug. It was the first time he'd used my real name in months. I almost smiled. He returned to watching the game as my friend pulled me away.
I'm really sorry to hear that about your dad, and I'm glad he'll be okay. Okay, Jamie, he said with a shrug. It was the first time he'd used my real name in months. I almost smiled. He returned to watching the game as my friend pulled me away.
Very good. Why are you talking to him? May asked. You don't want to be friends with a kid beater. None of that's true, I said, and we shouldn't keep gossiping about it.
Why are you talking to him? May asked. You don't want to be friends with a kid beater. None of that's true, I said, and we shouldn't keep gossiping about it.
You said the kid looked like he'd been beaten up, May retorted. That's what you told us, Cassie said. I did, I said, and that was wrong. I shouldn't have made those assumptions because none of them were true. I was talking to Dell because I was apologizing for gossiping about him when I didn't know the truth.
You said the kid looked beaten up, May retreated. That's what you told us, Cassie said. I did, I said, and that was wrong. I shouldn't have made up those assumptions because assumptions because none of them were true. I was talking to Dell because I was apologizing for gossiping about him when I didn't know the truth.
Cassie, Matt, and May all looked at each other sheepishly, and I could tell they were thinking about the assumptions they made about Dell. What did happen then? Asked Cassie. If you really want to know, ask Dell, I said, feeling much better. I'm done talking behind other people's backs.
Cassie, Matt, and May all looked at each other sheepishly, and I couldn't tell what they were thinking about the assumptions but they had made about Dell. What did happen then? Asked Cassie. If you really want to know, ask Dell, I said, feeling much better. I'm done talking behind other people's backs.
Okay, that's the end of the story. Delaney, do you remember what the word assumptions means when we talked about it earlier this week?
Like assuming something that you don't really know.
Right. Things that are believed to be true without proof is what the definition said. So there was a lot of assumptions. And what's another word that was used pretty frequently throughout this story? What's like kind of talking about someone kind of gossiping. Very good. And so it also talks about consequences to our actions. And how do you think Jamie felt when she found out the truth?
Like bad and kind of like, I shouldn't have done that. I should have actually like asked him.
Yeah. And do you remember earlier in the story what they did for her to kind of realize that she had done something wrong? What game did they play?
Telephone.
They played telephone, so they whispered in each other's ear. So what do you think then, taking that telephone game, what do you think the theme of this story is? Like the moral of the story, or like the big idea of the story?
Like when you pass something around, all the information comes out different.
Right. And so should we necessarily always believe what we hear and see and what other people say?
You're from like the first person in the server.
So that's pretty much the theme of the story. So who's the speaker of the story? Who's the narrator, if you will? Jamie. And her point of view, how do you think she kind of overcomes challenges throughout the story?
Like apologizing.
She realizes she did something wrong and
owning up to it. And
she owns up to it.
Do that.
And how could she realized she didn't really walk in Dell's shoes, right?
Yeah.
So she couldn't really make those assumptions after all. So now, and I know you love this because everybody loves these, we're going to do a Kahoot. So grab your computer, and then I'll read the questions out loud. We'll pop our computers up here. I'm going to keep this from snoozing. All right, so are you in?
Yeah.
Are you ready? So I'm going to hit start, and then I'll kind of have this facing this way, and you have plenty of space to do your Kahoot there. Okay, so I'm going to read out loud, and then you answer. So this is a quiz question. What is things that are believed to be true without proof? Assumptions, glimpse, slunk, or mutates?
Which one is what
Assumptions.
Is what color?
Which one begins with an A? Assumptions.
No, like it.
Oh, here, sorry.
Uh,
Here we go.
That's...
I didn't know that yours looked like that. Here you go.
Yay.
Very good.
And
This
then
is
you
perfect.
Next button.
Okay.
It's at school all the time.
I know you guys use these all the time. I'm a Kahoot beginner. Very good. All right, so we go to the next question. This is another quiz question. A story passed from person to person that has not been proved true.
I'm listening.
Is consequence, rumor, assumption, or conclusion? What's a story that's been passed? Consequence, rumor, assumption, conclusion.
Yay.
Very good.
Okay, I found this on the web for his consequence, rumor, assumption, or conclusion. What's a story that's been past rumor, assumption, conclusion? Check it out.
Hold on. It's going crazy. Okay. Next question. My apologies. True or false? Dell called Jamie Jermy. True or false? True is blue, false is red.
Yay.
True. So that was something that was really upsetting to Jamie, wasn't it? He
Yeah.
called her,
Because she had the flu.
she had the flu. Very good.
Yes.
And so when she came back after a while and had been sick, he called her Jermy. And so she kind of had a little grudge against him. All right. Another true or false. May started the rumor that Dell hit a kindergartner. May started the rumor. Is that true blue or false red? Excellent. Who started that rumor?
Jamie.
Jamie did. That's right.
She saw me the principals.
I know. And just made that
Assumption.
assumption. Very good. All right. Another quiz question. A quick look at something is conclusion, blue, rumor, glimpse, or gossiping. A quick look at something. Excellent. It's a glimpse. Okay, true or false? Jamie was sent to the principal's office for gossiping. True, blue, false, red. Did you get it right?
Mm-mm. I thought it was because, remember she was in the teachers.
Yeah, Jamie wasn't sent to the principal's office.
Oh.
That's okay. She had a chat with Mr. Sanchez, her teacher. We read that part the other day. What is a feeling of admiration and understanding that someone should be treated in a proper way? So a feeling that when you admire someone, is it humiliating, respect, sulk, or conclusion? Excellent. Nice. Very good.
Yes.
We did this. Let's do it again. Okay. All right. That was really good. So the question that you got confused on, Mr. Sanchez was her teacher that she stayed back and talked to. But you got first place, so way to go. All right. So there is our echoed shared reading lesson. And we'd like to thank you for peeking in on our lesson, and please let me know if there's anything that I need to do. Take care. Bye.